Hello, Sumo fans. I'm a little early tonight. Slightly early. 15 minutes early. You know how I am. There's a 15 minutes early, 15 minutes late. You know, it's a range. I have to admit that I'm not as up on my matches this time around as I have been in past tournaments. It's been kind of a rough road for a variety of reasons. So I'm going to spend tonight focusing on the top guys. I kind of put this in the community tab. I'm going to focus on the Ozeki that are, the Ozeki that was, and the Ozeki who are soon to be. They all seem to be the major story in this tournament. Hi, Monster. Yes, this basho is probably other people's not favorite basho as well. There's lots of reasons to be upset about this basho, some of which the topics may come up later. But we're going to get to sumo business first, and then we'll chat about other basho related things that are happening. Okay. So we haven't spoken at all. I'll get into this topic a little bit later, but Takakeisho only made it to day 2, which was my birthday, and it didn't go so well, and it was pretty depressing. And then he withdrew from the tournament, and we'll talk a little bit later about some of the things I've been hearing about his future after we get through today's events. So, without further ado, the highlight matches that I'm going to talk about, you guys can add your own. But first we have on here Kirishima versus Onosato, which really was the battle for the Yusho so early on. But, I hope I just said Onosato because I wrote Onosato. This is how messed up I am. Kirishima versus Onosato. Okay. So Onosato is 9-0 at this point. Kirishima 8-1. Kirishima's trying to make it back to Ozeki. It's going to take him a couple tournaments if he does. Onosato dominating. But as I've spoken about many, many times, you really can't say Zensho Yusho or Yusho at all until after day 10. 10-0 means nothing to me. I've seen plenty of people go 10-0 and end the tournament 10-5. Regardless. So Kirishima tries the Henka, which I found to be very interesting. It was almost sort of like as they like to call it, the Mongolian Henka, where he didn't completely shift out of the way. He stood face to face with him and then slapped his hands down and then moved to the side. He didn't seem too embarrassed by it, which was interesting. Possibly because he didn't win the match. I don't know. But Onosato looked like he knew what to expect and just sort of followed him and overpowered him out. And it was interesting because he fought Wakamoto Haru yesterday. And in interviews, Wakamoto Haru was bemoaning how strong Onosato is. And how, no matter how hard he tried, he could not overcome. So that's very interesting. I believe Kirishima probably had a similar challenge where it's like, oh, it didn't work, and now he's going to nail me. So, Onosato is now 10-0. Kirishima is now 8-2. The only guys who are left in this Yusho race are the 8-2s. So, Onosato's got a nice little cushion going on here. The next match of note was Ura versus Abi. And my note about that is Ura will not lose for spirit. He conquered the lackluster Kotozakura yesterday, and the last-minute Totari arm pull on Abi today was a thing of beauty. And the reason I say that is Abi is the one who's normally doing the ballerina pirouette on the edge, and it must have stung pretty hard to have that done to him by Ura. It was such a slick move, the way he grabbed that arm at the very last second and stayed in the ring. So Ura's having a good tournament. Very, very good tournament. He's fired up by the crowd. You can expect him to pull off some potential more shockers before this is over. Next, we have Kotozakura versus Gonoyama. Gonoyama really took it to him. He got under him. He's trying to muscle him out. Kotozakura sort of repositions himself and does what he needs to do. So Kotozakura is still technically in this thing 7-3, but not the tournament he hoped for. And then we had Hoshoryu versus Kotoshoho, which was actually a more interesting match than you might think. He was actually 0-4 versus Kotoshoho, was a little surprising. But as we've said about Hoshoryu many times, he loses to people that he shouldn't lose to. So Kotoshoho, when he's fighting a top guy, he usually brings out the brawler. And this was no exception. But it seemed like today, Hoshoryu wanted the brawl. Like, he just wanted to get those nerves out and just fight. This was more like a fist fight match than a sumo match. And, the tough thing for Hoshoryu is, he's been looking very fired up the last 3 days. But this tournament is almost already a losing tournament for him. I mean, even if he were to win every single match, the best he can hope for is an 11-4. That's great in theory, but if he's looking to rise higher, it's just the same old story with him. He's not going to be able to do it this tournament. Now, 11 wins would be great, but he's not going to even be in Yusho contention. So it's almost like, unfortunately, as an Ozeki, it's already a lost tournament for him. I've got here Wakataka Kage versus Endo. So once again, we see another Hanka. And what might be more fascinating, he defeated Endo. What might be more fascinating was actually the post-match interview, in which Wakataka Kage spoke about how he didn't intend for it to go the way it did. And it was interesting because, first of all, I've never seen somebody get interviewed after Hankaing. But second of all, it was a very earnest response. It seemed like he really was trying to do a certain thing, and it turned into the type of Hanka it did. And that made me wonder, what kinds of things do these guys practice for Hanka? Do they really always intend to do exactly what we end up seeing at the end? It's the first time I've ever questioned that. Wakamoto Haru makes a nice comeback against Atami Fuji. And, this is definitely not Atami Fuji's tournament, that's for sure. Wakamoto Haru looking pretty good, but he's had some tough fights. So before I get into some topics, I'm going to talk about tomorrow's matches, the playoff picture. I've got topics, and I know you guys got topics, because we haven't talked for a while, and I can see all of the chat. But, notable matches tomorrow. So Onosato is at the top, 10-0. There are 4 8-2s behind him. Kirishima, he's already lost to him, so he has no, he's not going to have a great opportunity at this point to, choose his own destiny. Wakataka Kage and Nishikigi are both 8-2. We knew Wakataka Kage was going to be, decent. He's still so low down that he should be higher level than who he's fighting. So this is a good sign that the injury must be healed enough that he's doing what he is expected to do. But he hasn't fought the top guys yet, so it'll be interesting to see that. Nishikigi refuses to become one of the retirees, and we have a whole list of people to talk about in that category. And just out of nowhere, pulls an 8-2. You can never know what's going on with this guy. Then we have Takayasu, which we speak about him all the time. Takayasu, healthy, is still Ozeki level. Not an Ozeki every day, but man, he's a tough guy. But you never know, and he never knows if the back is going to act up, and he has new injuries now, so you don't know what kind of tournament he's going to have. But he's doing one of those 8-2s, so he's in it. Could be interesting. And then we have him fighting Endo, who's probably a little salty after getting hanked, but according to Murray Johnson, Endo actually had done this to Wakataka Kage in recent memory or something. I don't know why he would bring it up, but he was like, oh, Endo did this to Wakataka Kage. So, anyway, those are the notable matches. Now, I want to talk about the 3 categories of Ozeki that I had mentioned at the top of this hour. And then I'll get to your chat. We'll get to our topics. But I'm going to bring some of John's comments from what we spoke about today into this discussion. So we have first, let's talk about Takakeisho first. Get that out of the way. I've been talking about Takakeisho nonstop for the last couple of shows because I knew we were going to hit a point where we won't be able to talk about him anymore. Good evening, Mitch. I'm glad you're here. And here we are. So Takakeisho had absolutely no power. You could tell, like, there's no way he could win a single match. And rightfully, he pulled out on the second day. Very, very depressing. It took me about 4 or 5 days to actually look forward to watching Sumo at all anymore. It was really a heavy blow that he couldn't. And I knew that he was in bad enough shape that this was not going to happen. But in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, please surprise me. You've done it so many times. But it's not possible anymore. So during the tournament, I've been keeping an eye on all the different talk about Takakeisho, and it really has been a roller coaster. At first, his stable master said there is a slight chance that Takakeisho fights throughout the rest of the year. I'm guessing this would be a money decision. And so while he didn't expect to ever see him as a Maegashira, there was a possibility. But then there was the second conversation in which Takakeisho was talking about the end of his career. And now the most recent is highly likely that there will be no announcement during the Basho, which makes sense. Very, very likely that we will get the Takakeisho retirement the Tuesday after the tournament. So that'll probably be the day that John and I are recording the recap show. We're going to be a day behind, so maybe we'll be able to talk about it in the recap show because it's going to be later than usual. So we will know about Takakeisho either way at the end of this. I don't want to go too much into the topic of Takakeisho because A, I need the official retirement. B, I have lots of plans for him, video tributes and all this kind of thing. And 3, I haven't really wrapped my head around it. It's just, I'm not ready. I need the official retirement first. So we're just talking about the fact that it's likely over, likely an announcement Tuesday. Slim possibility he tries to fight again, but if he does, it's literally just for some reasons unknown. So he leaves us from Ozeki with absolutely no possibility of coming back at this point. There was the slight possibility in this tournament. That is now gone, so former Ozeki Takakeisho. Now we'll talk about the current Ozeki. And it really is the same old story with Hoshoryu and Kotozakura. And I'm going to read to you what John actually said, and then we can go from there, because I found this was, like, very profound. So we were talking about how it's, like, all vibes with Hoshoryu and Kotozakura. So this is what John said. I liked this. When Hoshoryu loses more often than not, it's Hoshoryu beating himself. So you get the feeling that if Hoshoryu was locked in all 15 days, he's unstoppable. But when Kotozakura loses, like the Ura upset, the dude got beaten. And it feels like, because Hoshoryu is he has like been a beast the last 3 days. Just full of that anger, those powerful throws that I love so much. And Kotozakura is looking a little on the defensive, a little shaky. And yet, it's Kotozakura who actually has more wins. It feels like Hoshoryu is the better fighter and Kotozakura has more wins. My take on that is, like, I finally figured out what it is that doesn't resonate with me with Kotozakura. He's such a big guy with a sumo family history. He's got everything going for him, but he doesn't fight that way. He's not aggressive enough. He's very defensive. He can beat most guys simply by, like, the smaller guys. He can beat them by standing there. I really wish I could see some hunger from that guy. And maybe it's there. Maybe this is just his personality. But I don't see it. And it just... I can't get behind someone that I can't see their desire. It's not that I'm against him. It's just he's never going to be in the favorite list. Hoshoryu, on the other hand, once again, you see all the passion and all the determination, but he already has 4 losses. What in the world? What in the world is going on with him? You know, this is like every tournament now. I also did hear, though, and I think for Hoshoryu, there's a lot of a mental component here, like maybe too hard on himself. And we do know he has injuries as well. But his coach, I guess his high school coach, died before the tournament. And I could see that being the type of thing that would really mess with him. He really is a mental guy. Like, you know, maybe tries too hard when he should be more calm, and he's way too aggressive when he should... Or he's way too calm when he should be more aggressive. I don't know. But my point in bringing up both of these guys is that I'm starting to be concerned that our current Ozeki are not the Yokozuna hopefuls I thought they were. Like, how many Ozekis have we gone through? And none of them could make Yokozuna. Too many to count. The last one was Terunofuji. So, I'm almost wondering if the next Yokozuna ends up being someone who's not here yet. We'll have to see. We will really have to see on there. And that brings me to Onosato and Kirishima. Now, I know we don't have a lot of Onosato fans in the 42 Opinions group. However, I like Onosato. I do. I think he's earnest. I think his desire is there. I think he tries hard. I think he learns from his coach. I think he's willing to try things. I can see the effort, which matters to me. But he's still got some issues, but he's working against guys who really aren't measuring up. So, I don't know. I don't know if he's Yokozuna potential, but I'm questioning Kotozakura and Hoshoryu as that as well. And then Kirishima is surprising some people in how well he's doing. I do think he will get back to Ozeki. I think it's very possible. I no longer am so sure he's going to be the future Yokozuna. But we'll see. Let me just check something really quick. My papers are flying all over the place. Just give me a moment. Chat amongst yourselves. Okay. I'm going to go through some chat now that I've given my spiel. So Habab Gab is in agreement that this Basho stinks. But STZ02 says, really, I'm loving it. And Monster claims to have a big list of talking points. And we'll get to your talking points. I'm sure you'll put them in here. I'm sorry, but I'll see you guys in November when Hoshoryu wins. Yeah, GR Sumo, it's not looking good, man. I don't know if Hoshoryu is going to win a Yusho for a while. Habab Gab, my hamster boy. Yeah. Man, oh man. It stinks. I really feel that there will never be another Takakeisho. But that's the case for every wrestler who's ever come through. There'll never be another Hakuho. Some people were huge Ikioi fans. I mean, it must have been so painful for them when he finally had to retire. So this is the unfortunate cycle of life. I'm tired of the cycle. Shodai was in the hunt for the first 4 days. Yeah, Shodai doing Shodai things. Yep. Looks really super dominant for a couple days, and then he's gone. And yes, I think I did say Ono show. My bad. I have no idea why. I wish we saw a straight-on fight the first time a Hanko wasn't funny. You know, it's so funny because Takakeisho is going to retire, and you're going to see a million Hankas. People just didn't notice them because it was like, oh, you know, Takakeisho the Ozeki. You're going to see a million of them. Wakataka Kage likes to Hanka. Hoshoryu is really good at it. Obviously, Kirishima doesn't mind doing it. You are going to see all the top guys hanking. You better get used to it. Kirishima didn't get good enough contact in the Hanka. Well, what he did was he sort of slapped his hands down and then pushed to the side. So I don't know. That's why I said it was like the Hanka not Hanko, because he attempted to sort of face him, but he also wanted to deflect his power. He knew if Onosato got him, he was going to get him. Kirishima's a lightweight. And apparently Takeda Fuji already lost. This Yusho race is so over. So what if Onosato might lose to the Ozeki? He won't lose a playoff. It's over. Yeah, this is the first one in a while where we pretty much know who's won. Typically, I would say that 10-0 is, you know, I said this at the top. 10-0 is not a guarantee of anything. It's really not. But in this case, who's really going to challenge him? Okay. Hello, Army. Long time no see. Japan was wonderful. Were you there for a very long time? Because I think we missed you like 2 tournaments, or maybe it was just 1. Takeru Fuji lost alright to Tohakuryu, the Zensho breaker. Haha, that must make you sort of feel torn, because it was Tohakuryu. Oh, Onokatsu is undefeated in Juryo. Takeru Fuji is too. Send in Tohakuryu, the Zensho breaker. He'll slap him right down quick. You gotta love those spoiler guys. Tohakuryu will show his grandkids that bout, and he should. Why can't Hoshoryu start with the spirit? It's kind of amazing. He really is a slow starter. I don't know what the reason is. I cannot fathom it. I really can't. Hold on a second. Let's see. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing?
Can they hear me?
I don't know. Can you guys hear Goose? Let's see. It is... Okay, hold on a sec.
Hello.
Let's see if it's doing it. Guys, can you hear Goose? It looks like
Hello,
it is.
everyone. It's Goose. If it's saying desktop audio, that means it's picking up what OBS is doing.
Yes, it is picking up desktop audio. But they're saying we can't hear you.
You have chosen defeat.
They're saying they can't hear you, though.
They can or they can't?
Somebody said they can't hear you, but I can see desktop audio. Hold on. It says there's like noise from you.
That means they can't.
Okay, they can hear you now. There was a delay.
All right. You have chosen defeat.
I have chosen defeat?
Has Takakeisho ever chosen defeat? Have you ever seen Takakeisho step backwards?
I don't know. I have to really imagine this.
Because you can't think of it, and you've watched every match of his.
I have.
So why have you stepped backwards here?
And which part are you referring to? Which Doomer part are you talking about in this conversation?
You're saying he's retired. I would like to remind you of something. At 27, Churanoumi Fuji took a year off, took a year to climb, and made Yokozuna at 29.
I know.
Takakeisho can do the same.
I completely agree to an extent. It depends on if the neck is actually a healable injury. We know Churanoumi Fuji had knees and diabetes. That's what the
year off is for.
I know. According to his stable master, it does not harm him in regular life. So that was kind of encouraging. He can do regular activities Just he can't fight.
Takakeisho would have retired by now, but he hasn't, because he's not a quitter. He is taking a year off, and he will return.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
If he hasn't given up, why have you?
I'm a realist.
M, look me in the eyes that you can't see. If he hasn't retired yet, why have you?
Because I am a doomer, and everybody knows it.
Okay. That's all I wanted to say, because I don't want you to be upset. But having just said that, I do have one more thing to say.
Okay.
What is going on with the hankers?
Yeah, I was getting to that. I don't know if you heard what I just said, but
why are there 2 hankers of Bash?
Get ready, guys. Just get ready. Oh, I think I lost you. Hold on a second. Did I lose you? Are you still there? I might have lost you. All right. I don't know if you left or if you got kicked out, but I will answer your question about Hankas. I'm telling you, be prepared. All these guys Hanka. Takakeisho got the this like stigma attached to him while everybody else is doing it and nobody's noticing. They're all going to do it. Wakataka Kage, Kirishima, Hoshoryu. And if they're all doing it, then watch Kotozakura do it. I mean, it's free range now. Free range. They're all going to do it. Get used to it. It's not going to be funny anymore. Oh, my goodness gracious. I do appreciate you trying to make me feel better and cheer me up. Perhaps I can get through the next couple of days in happier spirits. But my gut is in knots waiting for Takakeisho to speak. So anyway, I'm back to the chat. Goose says hi to everybody, and he has left intentionally. Okay. Army says this isn't 100% Hoshoryu. He had about no practice because of his hip injury, so I have to give him a pass this Basho. This is a good point. I mean, most of his moves are throws. So if your hip's all messed up, you're probably going to be a little bit hesitant to try them, especially if you've had no practice bouts. So fair. Perhaps I'm getting on him a little bit too much for past indiscretions. We are back in the game. Tohakuryu heads. It's Joe over no longer. Waka hanked Endo because Endo hankoed 2 days in a row. Now, see, I didn't realize this because I'm telling you, I missed so much. I missed an incredible amount. Like, I went back and watched matches. I didn't know what day it was. This has been not good for me. I need a do-over, okay? I need November because I am a mess. I switched from Wakamoto Haru to Tobizaru because of you people. My Kachi Clash is ruined. Hey, look. Nothing's going right in Fantasy Sumo. You can't blame us. I don't know if you knew, but Hoshoryu was injured the first week, and that's why he's only pushing and thrusting now. I did not know that he was still injured. So I definitely have to sort of give him a pass on that one. My bad. Hold on a second. I don't even know what's happening here. Technology makes me very upset. Okay. Anyway, back to the comments. Wakamoto Haru Sanyaku returned with Wakataka Kage. I am sure that Wakamoto Haru is fired up by the fact that his brother is definitely coming back to Sanyaku very soon. So they push each other, and Wakamoto Haru has typically done better when Wakataka Kage is around. So very possible. Okay, mostly just Maria and her story about her toe injury. What is that in reference to? I did fall down the stairs and break my toe. That was the thing. But I don't remember telling that story, so who knows. Wakamoto Haru's toe is in great shape. That's going to allow him to fight the way he needs to fight. That'll make a big difference. Speaking of retirement, looks like Aoyama is about to lose his Sekitori status. An Intai announcement after the Basho is expected for him in the Kyujo Myogiru. Yes, I was going to say Aoyama, Myogiru, Gusmo, let me say Takakeisho. He says that I'm just giving into defeat. I'll let you guys fill in the blanks there. Is Eater of Worlds Nishikigi from mid-2023 back? He's amazing. I love Nishikigi. He's an amazing dude. How he can be as old as he is and as tough as he is and just, you know what? I had a couple bad tournaments. I'm going to come back and be 8-2. What a high-class Rikishi he is. Ura beat Kotozakura by Oshidashi. And he embarrassed Kotozakura. He sure did. He sure did. That's what I'm saying about Kotozakura. I don't feel the drive from him. I just don't feel it. Maybe it's there. Maybe he's shy. I don't see the passion and it bugs me. Feel bad. But that's just how I am. Hot-tempered person that I am. Kotozakura looking so inconsistent. Every time he gets aggressive, he wins. When he goes passive Shodai mode, he loses. I've said it before. There's some comparisons to Kotozakura and Shodai. It's kind of amazing. Onosato potentially making Ozeki in only 10 pro tournaments is insanity. Yeah, I've said this before, and I'm going to pull it up now. Look at this. This is all we have for Onosato. He's on an Ozeki run that he's likely going to succeed in. And this is all we have. Makushita 10, 3, Juryo 14, Juryo 5, Maegashira 15, Maegashira 5, West Komusubi, Sekiwake, likely Ozeki. I know people don't like him, but I do. I'm rooting for him. Kotozakura and Hoshoryu are both coming in with injury concerns. I can't be too hard on them, but man, it's so boring when Onosato is the only one in the race. I know you want to have like a couple of guys in the race fighting it out, and now it's like we already know what's going to happen. It's Takakeisho. Please retire my guy or get surgery, drop to Jonokuchi, and bounce back to Yokozuna. Now, the situation Goose presented is a highly it's something that he could do. He's only 28 years old. So in theory, he could, and maybe he should have done it sooner. Maybe right after the 4th Yusho, he should have done it. He could, in theory, get the surgery, take a year off, and just pummel all the lower guys. But, and this is something that he'll have to make the decision on, it depends on if that neck injury is fixable. I mean, neck injuries are different than other types of injuries. Your knees can heal. Your neck, you can't replace the neck. So it just really comes down to that. So I don't know what'll happen. Going into the Basho, both Ozeki have injuries, Hoshoryu hip and no real practice, and Koto with the ankle foot weeks before the Basho and limited practice, and even said he was in pain. Yes, both Ozeki were injured. Onosato will probably win, but I'm not counting out late game spiciness like last time. I will not count out late game spiciness. There's too many lower guys that can come in and just do something weird. But the time for that is running out. So, okay. Habab Gab agree 100%, and that's why I understand the performances. It's injuries, not vibes. All right, listen. I'll give him injuries, but if we're looking at overall, the things I have said are still true about both guys. They lose matches to people they shouldn't. They are putting us on a roller coaster. And, injuries will make that happen. But if they weren't doing those things in non-injury bashos, then I wouldn't have anything to talk about with this. I would literally just say, they're both injured. They'll be fine next time. I don't know that they'll be fine next time. But we'll see. We'll see. I kind of hate that this basho has gotten so damn boring so fast. The Ozeki are doing what they've been doing, and nobody else is doing anything all that intriguing. Yeah, we don't have, like, the new hotness, like Maegashira 15, making it interesting. Sometimes you just have a basho that's like this. Okay, I'm glad it's not just me being salty when I think this is the worst basho I've ever watched. It's not the worst basho I've ever watched. Not. It's decent. There's been some good matches. I like the idea that Onosato has a chance to become Ozeki and likely will. We need a new Ozeki. Ura's making things very fun. I like the Hoshoryu comeback. I like how aggressive he's been. Might be interesting to see what he does in the next couple of days. Kotozakura beats himself. Lets Oho get away. Literally does nothing to lose Ura. Kotozakura doesn't care. Kotozakura just stood there and let Ura hit him. And this is where Goose, I had caught this message, wanted to come on and instill hope. Hope springs eternal, as they say. Like, I'm not even all that interested to watch anything beyond going to Sumo DB to check the Torikumi results and maybe the top 1 or 2 matches. Yeah, this one's been a hard one for me. Not gonna lie, I wanted some more interesting stuff. Like, we don't have as many guys doing things that I had hoped and planned for. But, you know, maybe Takayasu makes it interesting. Koto Shoho could make it interesting. He's a pretty fired up guy. Could you imagine if he makes Onosato lose tomorrow? I could see it. Because Onosato has that issue where, once again, he's 10-0, and that's when the nerves come in. Oh, this might be my Yusho. Oh, I might make Ozeki. Koto Shoho just wants to come in and pound faces. You don't know. Just saying. Stuff like that affects Hosh a lot. I think, remember, he did poorly for the first couple days when Hoshoryu announced he had cancer. Yeah, Hoshoryu is a very emotional guy. And I think he's like a real deep guy, too. So I'd imagine losing a coach would affect him. Someone please challenge Onosato. He's the most boring Rikishi ever, aside from Takeda Fuji, maybe the wrestler very similarly. I don't think he's boring. I do think that he's very green, and as we looked at his whole situation, and I should probably fix that, he's just got a lot to learn. He hasn't been around that long. He'll get some variety of techniques. Let's see. Hoshoryu loves throws. Hard to throw with an injured hip. Koto was a pusher, and with a bad foot, it's hard to have a good movement and balance. I'll give you that. But Kotozakura is a big dude. I mean, if he puts in just half the effort, and maybe I'm being too hard on him. Maybe I am. I don't know. But, I mean, if he can be in the ring, I mean, I just really feel like he could do more than he's doing. And Hoshoryu has the injured hip, right? He's thrown guys 3 days in a row. So, I don't know. This is something that'll get me into trouble, though. You know, because it's like, oh, you shouldn't fight hurt. Everybody's hurt. It's a foot. It hurts. Cortisone shot. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a jerk. I still think that Hoshoryu is just going to pull a Haruma Fuji and randomly win 2 in a row to make Yokozuna, but it's just going to come out of nowhere. That's actually what John was saying, too. That Hoshoryu might become Yokozuna when we least expect it. Like, just all of a sudden, he's going to figure it out. And then, bam, he's going to be Yokozuna. I could see it. I'm not going to predict it, but I could see it. Onosato looking more like a Yokozuna than Hoshoryu did when he got his Yusho, and Koto did when he got his Jun Yusho. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've never seen dominance, consistent dominance, from either of those guys. You see glimpses of it, where you're like, wow, he is an awesome fighter, and then it just goes away. So, I mean, maybe we can just throw this tournament out the window for both of them, but I've yet to see something prior to this tournament that shows me that they're capable of more. I'd like to see it. I thought the level up out of nowhere is the most Yokozuna happening to people like Onosato that are the exception. I mean, it happens with Ozeki. Look at Shodai. He did really well during COVID where there was less crowd. And then all of a sudden the crowd came back and it was like, oh, I don't really want this. Whoops. I think Kotozakura wants to avoid injury and is inconsistent. Now, it's very possible that that is his issue, is that he's tentative and worried about injury. The problem is if you're worried about injury, you might get injured. I mean, you have to be concerned about it. But worry is a whole other thing. Kirishima is a weird one to me. I wasn't all that annoyed by the Henka he pulled, but was more disappointed about the fact that he got a double belt grip and couldn't do with it. What was interesting is at the end of the match, he was looking on the monitor and was watching the match really intently. So, I don't know. He was planning something that didn't work out. Maybe something went wrong. At what point do we want to have the Takayasu false hope Yusho hope thing again? Hey, why not now? Everybody's saying somebody challenge Onosato. Maybe it'll be Takayasu. Maybe Takayasu will be like, you want to be Ozeki? You gotta go through me. Onosato definitely looks like the next Yokozuna to me. Kotozakura looks good, but lacks strong finishing ability. If he gets improves, that will probably be more Yokozuna. Kotozakura has always looked like the guy who should be Yokozuna. And, you know, there's the lacking factor. Now, just like Hoshoryu, he could turn this around like nothing. All of a sudden, he could be Yokozuna and none of this will matter. Once you become Yokozuna, none of this matters. Nobody remembers your struggling Ozeki days. They will only judge your Yokozuna days. So that's the plus side. All these guys have to do is win 2 Yusho, and I do think both of them are capable of doing that. So all the frustration that I'm saying and all of the things I'm pointing out are not coming from a place where I don't think they can do it. It's I don't know if they will do it. I never really thought Takakeisho could do it. I thought if he did it would be like a real like crazy thing, but it was because of the injuries. I knew talent-wise he was capable, but I'm like, he's always got a new injury. So I never felt like, yeah, he's going to do this. I feel like Kotozakura could do this. I feel like Hoshoryu could do this, but that doesn't mean they will. I was in the Philippines visiting my wife's family before I went to Japan. Oh, cool. Very cool. This was about Goose. I'm so far behind in the chat. I am ready for some happy thoughts. Chiyomaru might be making a return to Juryo again. Oh, nice. Chiyomaru is never leaving. Goose, if you're still hanging around listening, Shishi is on track to get the Makauchi. Won't that be fun? I hear a thing and pass along Bob's message. I need some entertainment. Sorry I didn't pass it along while he was there. Maybe he'll say something in the chat. Some injuries you don't recover from, and that is the case. There are many athletes, including the current chairman, Hakaku, who have to retire way earlier than they should because the injuries are just not, you can't overcome them. So, I don't know. I'm supposed to be positive. Maybe I should try it. I don't know. The realist in me says, I don't think so. Okay. Shishi needs to win 3 to guarantee promotion. Hopefully we won't choke away. Shishi haters unite. Oh, hear that, Goose? Monster's a Shishi hater as well. I have no opinion on him. Until he comes to Makauchi, I give nothing. Kotozakura is a useless, huge, strong guy with a big family legacy. Even though his dad only made Sekiwake, he would beat Kotozakura in that ring 0 to 100. Well, sometimes it's really difficult to overcome being in a family legacy. You can never really just be your own free self and be the wrestler you were going to be. There's always the pressure of, well, in my day, I did this and blah, blah, blah. So I actually think that kind of stinks for him. But at the same time, you know, you've had more access to sumo knowledge than some of these other guys. Certainly Onosato. Although Onosato's getting in the ring with Kisa Osato all the time. He's learning the hard way. Chris Sumo says there's been hints that the hamster's retiring forever. That's worth. I saw that. But I also saw that it's just nothing. Like, basically, Takakeisho is only talking to his stable master by phone. I imagine that he is sitting at home going back and forth. Going back and forth, going back and forth. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Talking to his family, talking to his friends. But he doesn't want to, make any announcements during a Yusho. It's not the time for it. And maybe right this second, he's made up his mind. And we're going to find out. The Henka is the most refined and superior attack. I didn't mind the way Kirishima did it. Because like I said, he did still face him straight on. It's just, he slapped the hands down and moved to the side. I mean, it's a very, we do that kind of stuff in karate class. So, I guess it just didn't bother me as much. It just seemed like a deflection attack versus just being completely gone. But maybe Onosato made it look better because he didn't let it succeed. I don't know. Kotozakura's dad would beat Kotozakura 100-0. He probably already has. If Keisho does a Terno Fuji, he will have to change his style to not hurt his neck again. Teru could fight similar to how he used to. His knee injury was a freak accident against Kisanosato. Yeah, Teru's problem, though, was more the diabetes. Sure, the knee knocked him down, but the diabetes is what really... And he had cellulitis really bad. Those were the things that were really hurting him more so than the knee injury. Keisho would have to change his complete style. Which... I mean, it's possible, but he's so limited in the way his body is. He's so short. And so he's gained so much weight for the power and he's got the short arms. He's probably got the shortest arms in the entire top division. How would he do it? I mean, he can do these one-armed throws. We've seen them. But I don't know. Ono Yuko. Can't stand the guy or his Oyakata, the Kiser, Japan's latest foe, Zuna. I don't know. I like Kisanosato. He's a bit, sometimes you have when he says things, you're just like, okay, what are you saying? But I do think that he was a great Ozeki, a fantastic Ozeki. And he just got hurt. If he didn't get hurt, he would have been a great Yokozuna. I promise you that. So I can't knock the guy for his knowledge, and I do think that Onosato really cares. And because I can see that, I like him. He's not my favorite, because I like the angry guys. And don't let Takakeisho's stoicism fool you. He's an angry fighter. But I like him. Mitch says, I don't buy it. Takakeisho is done. If Takakeisho does a Terno Fuji, he should wear a neck brace instead of Teru's knee braces. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Are you allowed to wear a neck brace in sumo? I really believe that the only way Takakeisho is going anywhere is if they change the rules and start letting him put weapons in his Mowashi. Takakeisho is definitely the type of guy that if there was a way, he would do it. There's no question. Like, Goose is right about that. Like, Takakeisho was a go-forward type of guy. But, now that there's two sides to this. So he's married and has a child, and he has elder stock. I can promise you the doctors are telling him he should retire. No doctor is going to tell him you should keep doing this. So he has to weigh the whole, do I want to be around and not paralyzed for my family? Then he has to weigh, like, okay, well, how am I going to make money for my family? Now, obviously, you get money as an Oyakata, but I don't know. I don't know. As a lower-ranked Oyakata, do you get as much as an Ozeki? I don't know. So he's just got a lot of stuff he's got to figure out. Henka is love. Henka is life. Hail to the gods of Henka. Hey, Henka keeps us talking. Henka keeps us guessing. Nishikigi doing well is always inspiring since he can't see a damn thing. He's a cool dude, that Nishikigi. He just keeps rising in my esteem for him. At this point, I'm rooting for anyone to make Yokozuna, as long as it isn't Kiribayama or Meisei. It's never going to be Meisei, but Kirishima could do it. I mean, think about it. Kirishima's coach is Kakuryu. Kakuryu was a smaller guy. Kirishima and him have some very similar traits. The field is not brimming with Yokozuna potential. You can't rule him out. Monster says, this is the point in the stream where chat politely waits for Maria to catch up for us. Listen, I had a guest phone call, and my computer was going crazy, and you guys are talking so much, which is great, but it takes a while to read all these comments, and I don't think everybody does it. I might be the only one who reads every single chat when I'm here by myself. Yes, I agree with the Hoshoryu losing when he shouldn't. I'm just saying this Basho, they get a pass from me personally. Yeah, don't mind me, Army. Sometimes I get a little, I don't know. I don't like softness. I'm a hard kind of person, I guess. Especially when it comes to my fighting, which isn't necessarily fair. Considering the hype behind them, most disappointing Makauchi debuts I've ever seen. Onokatsu and Shirakuma look completely out of their depth. I'm shocked. I'm not. I think we've gotten lucky that, you know, we've had some real hot shots like Takeru Fuji and Onosato, and I always say it, there's a huge difference between Juryo and Makauchi. And these guys just learned it the hard way. We are a kind and classy bunch, Monster. This is to be expected from us. Those are the exact words I would use to describe all of you. Especially Mitch and Monster. This Basha was nowhere near as boring as all the Hakuho Zen shows where the Jun Yusho goes 6 guys with 11 and 4. Exactly, Ha Bob Gob. There was a point where Hakuho was winning all the time and you knew no one even had a shot. Those were way more boring unless you were really into Hakuho and enjoying him pummeling everybody. Those are way more boring than anything we'll ever see in the next 10 years. The only thing I'm particularly interested in this Basho is the Yusho race and ISP. Well, you are in second place, I believe. Beyond that, we can get this over with so I can start working in the November bonds again. I'm doing horrible in ISP. Oh, it's so rough. At least I'm not dead last. Onosato and Takeru Fuji are the most boring Rikishi ever. There's nothing in sumo I hate more than a guy whose matches never go on for longer than 10 seconds. People have said that about Takakeisho, and he changed that. Koto Shoho is the new mayor of Pound Town, an esteemed position held by the likes of Takakaze, Yoshikaze, Shohozan, and Chionokuni. You are right, Ha Bob Gob, and I like Koto Shoho for that reason. All those guys were my favorite guys before Takakeisho came along. Every single one of them, loved Yoshikaze matches, loved Shohozan matches, loved Chionokuni. So yeah, Koto Shoho, keep it up. We've been missing the brawling type. We really have. Takeru Fuji is less boring than Onosato. It's interesting seeing him trying to establish a grip before bulldozing them out. Onosato literally moves forward and nothing stops him, no grip needed. I feel like Kotozakura should be like that. I mean, Onosato's not bigger than him, is he? I feel like Kotozakura should be able to do the same thing, but he doesn't. I think with Hoshoryu, it was more missing all the practice, and it took him a while to get going, but I agree that they both have weaknesses, and it sucks. Yeah, I mean, Hoshoryu, if we get that retirement announcement on Tuesday, that's not going to happen. Hoshoryu is my number one guy. He is the new man for me. So I say that with all the love in the world for Hoshoryu. There's just something that I want to see change for him because I think he's an excellent Rikishi. I think he'd be a fantastic Yokozuna. But until he fixes those things, he's going to get stuck. Hoshoryu, November and January, he'll be fully healed and adjusted to the extra 7 kilos of muscle. Yes, that's true. He did add 7 kilos. I will say this. I'm not picking Hoshoryu in any more of the preview shows because then he'll win. I am cursed. I have never won. Nothing good ever happens when I predict it. So I'm not going to pick him for November or January. I've been picking him in July and September, and it's gone horribly. So I'm going to pick, like, I don't know, Takayasu or something. Patrick says, I liked Yoshikaze. He was one of my favorites, and I loved when Takakeisho first came up. I'm like, who's this kid? And they would have bloody slap fests. Oh, my goodness. Those matches were amazing. But hey, on a brighter note, I seen Teru Inabasho. Man, he's huge. That is so cool that you were there. I hope you took a bunch of pictures. And to be able to actually see these guys in person. Oh, I can't imagine. Someday I'll get to Japan. Struggle makes a Rikishi more fun to watch and get behind. I don't like Hako, Oho, or Takeru Fuji at first, but seeing them coming back makes me like them more. I don't want Onosato to get injured, but Yeah, I do feel like I'm getting more behind Takeru Fuji for that same reason, because he's got some adversity. I loved Hako Oho from the moment I saw him, and my heart is breaking because he's not the man he was before that surgery. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned that we may never get. Just too much happened to him. He gets the surgery. The Hakuho scandal thing happens. They get cramped into Isegahama. There's some pluses because he gets to work with Teruno Fuji and things like that. But, I mean, he's so young. All of that is a lot and messed with him, I think. So, I'm worried. But I haven't given up hope. Goose says, New Yokozuna in 2025 could be one of 3 people. Oh my goodness, you guys are way ahead of me. I can't believe how much chat has happened. Okay, I'm going to read faster. One thing that I've been glad to see so far in the spa show is Tobizaru with a losing record and being yeeted multiple times. I don't know about you, but it brings a slight smile on my face. Come on, Mitch. Even you had to be salty about the Kotozakura match, which we didn't even talk about. Maybe I'll talk about it if I ever catch up to the chat. Tobizaru was robbed. Chiyomaru was 100% making a return. Don't care. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Oh, I'm disappointed in you, Mitch. I was hoping you'd make an exception, since you have such an issue with the Shinpon. Chiyoshoma is also promoted already. He's looking stronger than ever before, no joke. Well, he got that surgery, so he's probably feeling much better. Think about this in November. Kotozakura will be 27, 2 whole years older than Hoshoryu. Hoshoryu is only 25, only a couple months older than Onosato. Hoshoryu's got time, don't count him out. I am not counting him out. I'll be rooting extremely hard for him. Also, when are we going to talk about the Kotozakura versus Tobizaru match? Tobizaru got robbed. Okay. Let me see how much chat there is. Oh my goodness, guys. You are really chatting. I'm going to get through the comments and then we'll try to talk about it so that I can actually be with you guys in real time. If Big Dan retires, Small Dan Aonishiki will take his place. Oh boy, I cannot pronounce that Mongolian name. Defeat is a choice. I've got a Bema Bloodhound's breath. Yeah, you got your work cut out for you there, Goose. I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to have to tell me. Hello, Mega Monster. I actually was thinking about you because now that we have 2 monsters, I'm like, where's Mega Monster? They're breathing down my neck. I choose hope. I still broadcast. Okay, we're going to see what happens, Goose. This is the battle behind the scenes. Who will win out? What else is there to say except I've never seen a more blatantly wrong call in sumo? We're going to get there. Hoshoryu's got even more pressure than Kotozakura and Onosato combined because of Asashoryu. True. Very true. Although, maybe Asashoryu's chilled a little bit, or maybe he's gotten more intense since the cancer. I don't know. Sumo Spiffy had a community post with a good shot of the top of Toby's foot touching down in the ring before Koto did. Yes, I want to talk about that. I like Bob more now. I will concur with his opinion for obvious reasons. It's so great when you guys are getting along. I was surprised to learn the reason Teru hasn't retired is he's waiting on elder stock. That was interesting to know, so I guess that means he would if he had it already. I think they're asking him to stick around as well. And all he has to do is show up and do Yokozuna ceremonies, so what, to him, what difference does it make? And he collects a huge paycheck. Takakeisho should retire. Matero can wait for 5 years since he's Yokozuna. No. Yes, he has 5 years to get elder stock, but the truth of the matter is that 5 years goes really fast. So I think he might be waiting for Isegahama to retire. We'll see what happens. No one thinks Takakeisho isn't a fireball under his hamster ball exterior. He's a tough guy, even among Rikishi. They really don't make Takakeishos anymore. Like, with him gone, that really is like the end. Even though he's a young guy, he was still a part. He went through the gauntlet of the Hakuho times. You're not going to... The new guys are not like Takakeisho. So that whole old guard goes with him. Kakuryu fights more like Kotozakura than Kirishima. Kakuryu is a lot better, of course, but still. Yeah, but Kirishima definitely is emulating him. I think the question is, does he bow out gracefully as a Sekiwake, or does he pull out of a 4 or 5 consecutive basho, squeezing out those last few salary checks until he falls out of the bottom of Juryo? That's... The money thing is always a big question. Don't read some comments because some of the people who watch my show are insane. Okay. If I see any insane comments, I won't read it. Thank you, Maria. We greatly appreciate you reading every chat. When you become the most popular sumo channel, I'll be happy for you, but sad because there will be 10 million chats per live stream. If I ever become more popular than this, I won't be able to read all the chat. It's already like, whoa. Very true. I am hard on fighters too, but I watched Hoshoryu get injured in person. Oh, yeah. You were there to see it. Oh, that's a good point. And he's my favorite. A little bias here. I'm giving it to you, Army, because he's my favorite too. And my heart is with him. I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to stop being jerk Maria for a second. I like cheering on underdogs more. It's why I'm focused on Nabetame, which a lot of people like Nabetame. He'll never be Yokozuna, in my opinion, but I do want him to succeed as a Sekitori. The thing is, when people say it about Takakeisho, it isn't true. I'm not sure what that's in reference to, because I'm so far behind. I just love to see Hoshoryu fired up and pissed. Me too. It's my favorite part about him. To the people that complain about short matches, give it a rest. Not everyone can be Take... Oh, see, this is the time of night where I can't read. Take long damn time Yasu. Okay. Also, you are really good at remembering comments from earlier and responding to vague references like my comment before. I do have a pretty good memory. Pick Onosato. Onosato has 3 centimeters and 4 kilograms on Kotozakura. Okay. All right. My bad. He's bigger. I'm excited for Yoshikaze's new stable because he's trying out new innovative training methods aimed to prevent injury. Yes, I'm very interested as well. I can't wait to see the battle of the Oyakatas, who were wrestlers when I first started watching. Please pick Kiribayama or Meisei to win the Yusho. Okay, the very next one, I'm picking Meisei. I actually like Meisei. Kotozakura at Yokozuna is Nishikigi at Ozeki. If you ever pick Kotozakura for the Yusho pick, I'll be done with 42 opinions. That's kind of tempting. I don't want to see you go, but that would be kind of funny. Agree, Habob Gob. Awanishiki is a guy to watch and get behind. Young, fire in the belly, and loads of talent. Sad thing is, Takakeisho was 28. He never did and never will reach his physical peak. At 28, he should be even better than his Yusho winning days. Habob Gob. You have said the thing that's been in my heart since day 2 when he pulled out. He's so young. And when I started watching him at 23... I think he was 22 at the time. I never saw this coming. I thought I would get to see him fight to, 32. And it hurts. But this is life. This happens all the time. Hello, Alace. So glad I didn't miss the live. Nope, we're here. These guys are chatting so much I can't even catch up to them. I will concede that the shrimp should put their hands up, at least talked about that match, and yes, I will also concede that it probably would have been Sachigai, but still don't care. I am going to speak about that. If you guys stop chatting. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, don't chat anymore until I read all of these chats, and then we can talk about the match, and then we can talk to each other for real. Okay. Awanishiki gets 6-0, goes to Juro. The chat is only going to get bigger, Maria. You need to get used to that. I don't know. I think we should have more people who like this channel, but they don't. I don't know if YouTube won't let us be seen, or if people are just like, I can't stand that Maria girl. Probably I don't see how he doesn't. 4-hour live streams and 42 opinions hits 1 million subs because of chats. If we ever hit 1 million subs, I'd do like an 8-hour stream, okay? That's never going to happen. We all know Hoshoryu is my favorite too. I feel for you, Army. Hey, we're all in this together, GR Sumo, Army. We are. I just had a moment where I had to get a little tough on our boy because I want to see him be Yokozuna. Nothing can be worse than hearing Takayasu's leg pop during the first empty COVID basho. Why are you bringing up those horrors? Okay. I'm so close. Don't say anything else. I want to talk about the Tobizaru Kotozakura stuff. Stop commenting. Or I'm going to just stop right here. When people said Takakeisho couldn't have long matches, it was never true. It just feels like it shouldn't be since he always looked short of breath. Yeah, and he was always short of breath because of his nose. He can't breathe through his nose. So while it probably does have a little bit less, capacity than some people, it wasn't for being out of shape. He wouldn't be able to fight the way he fights if he was out of shape. That would annoy me so much. It's like, he has a messed up nose. He can't breathe out of his nose. That's the reason he's breathing like that. Hoshoryu is the future. Agree, Quackadoo. Good to see you. All good 100. It's me who's biased about Hoshoryu. We all have our faves. Fan is short from fanatic. Oh, yeah. And you've all heard me go on and on about Takakeisho. So who am I to call anybody out about anything? I am a hypocrite. Yoshikaze's methods are working. Kaio and Tomokaze are doing well. Oh, that's good. I love Tomokaze. So Yoshikaze, make him better. Okay. Let's see. Tamawashi, you showed at 37. True, Goose. You're just really trying to keep me positive, aren't you? One complaint about a Yoshikaze wrestler. Why in the blue hell is Kaio hanking Aoyama? For God's sake, save it for someone who's actually going to be competitive. Agreed. Goose tells me not to give up. Sorry, but I won't take it as a joke if you pick Kotozakura. I'll make a last comment and unsubscribe. Okay, GR Sumo, putting on the pressure even though I'm very good to you here. Unfair. My Tamawashi versus Shishi playoff dream in 2030 is on track to come true. Yeah, Tamawashi will be there forever. Got that, everyone? Take a halftime. We need to be classy people and let Maria catch up. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you for reading everyone's comments. Nobody else does that. Much appreciated. This is true. No one else does it. There's a reason. It's very difficult. We need a 42-hour streamathon for 42 Opinion Sumo. If we get 5,000 subscribers, I'll consider it. Enho just lost 2 seconds ago. I'm gone. Oh. Enho. Oof. Enho's climb may take an extra basho or two then to get back to Juryo. Yeah, that's... You guys are bringing me down. I don't want to know when Enho loses. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, hit the like button. Why aren't you guys hitting the like button? How many are here? Like 30 people? Hit the like button. Then maybe we'll get some new friends to talk to. Anyway, I made it to the end. I'm so excited. We're going to talk live about the Tobizaru and Kotozakura match. So, I was watching that, and obviously, like many, I was like, Tobizaru won that match. What in the world is going on? And then later on, I saw the pictures of the top of Tobizaru's foot, touching down. The problem is, I don't think that was seen in real time. I really don't. I could be wrong. I feel like they just called the match for Kotozakura and decided not to review it. And it just so happens that Kotozakura probably did win the match. But, if you knew for sure, if you really, really, really believed that Tobizaru lost that match, what does it hurt to call the replay? The fact that they didn't do a Mono-E and didn't look at the replay shows you that they were hiding from the call, in my personal opinion. So that is the issue that I have with it. It doesn't have good optics, and that matters because you're trying to build Kotozakura right now. He's Ozeki. You want him to be the next Yokozuna. He's got the family legacy. You're not doing the guy any favors by pulling stuff like that. Because now people will turn on him, like they've done to Takakeisho. See? He always comes back. And maybe it's not fair. So it didn't do Kotozakura any good. It didn't do Tobizaru any good because Tobizaru was convinced that he had won the match. And now you have all the fans just kind of like, what in the world? And then we have to go through unnecessary monoes to make up for it. And I think Mitch world where it's like you call some lame ass penalty and then call that was at the worst time, and it's my back. You see, you started talking about the streamathon. All right, let's see. Am I? Hello? 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 Am I back? You know, did I just go on that whole rant? What is the last thing you guys heard? Because it's so weird that that happened. I didn't touch anything. What was the last thing you guys heard? And now I'm extra loud. What? Craziness is happening. Did I just go on that whole rant? What is the last thing you guys heard? Hello. Can you still hear me? I need more confirmation because I had to touch something. I stopped it. Oh, jeez. Here we go. Hello? Am I still here? Okay. Let's see. Ay, ay, ay. Not replaying the call. All right. Well, I'm going to read Mitch's comment, and then I'll just say something else. I don't know. I heard once upon a time that they wouldn't Monoe something late in the day since they need to be done by 6 for TV reasons. Don't know how accurate that is, though. I don't know. It's possible. I mean, Japan and the time thing really does matter, but... Yeah, I was ranting and I got muted at the rant. That is unfortunate. Because now I don't feel like ranting anymore. I really like this aggression, and I feel like once he masters these new skills and his stronger Tachiai, I think Hoshoryu will get there. I do really believe in him. I seriously believe in him. I believed in him since the moment I first saw him come to Makuuchi and he was struggling. I'm like, he's just got so much talent in there. So we'll see. I heard they were going to overtime that day and they didn't want to overturn the Tate Gyoji in his last basho. Well, that's possible too. Maybe it wasn't for Kotozakura's sake. Maybe it was for other reasons. But definitely there were reasons that were unrelated to certainty in the match. Maybe we need a new villain. Well, Kotozakura can be the new villain. I don't know. He's just not passionate enough to be a villain. I think after just a few more bashos, we will see big improvement as more rounded Rikishi, my 2 cents. I'm already ready to just wait to the next year. Like, just call this year a wash and just hope people are better next year. Between injuries and, everything else. Damn it, Tobizaru, I'm blaming him for the loss of the mic. I don't know. I think the Shimpan's out to get me. I think YouTube's out to get me. Apparently Tobizaru pulled the cord on my mic. Mitch paid off the mic. NHK didn't like my criticism. Hey, I mean, everybody got copyright struck last night, so there's no channels left. They can't get me, I'm pretty sure. I don't have anything on here. I just talk and read your comments. LMAO, the fact that everyone is still here, only on this channel. You guys are the most loyal fan base on YouTube. There's no question. Okay. Army says, nope, they protected Koto from an early loss. Quackadoo agrees. Okay, talk about how strong Churanoumi is. Instead, everyone likes him. Churanoumi is strong. And none of you seem to have a problem with him. It's going to take him a while, though, to... I mean, is he going to make Sanyaku? Churanoumi seems too strong for Mid-Maegashira. I wonder how he will fare in the Joy. There's a lot of question marks around him because he is 30 years old. So, I mean, he doesn't have that much time. But, hey, maybe he could be like a surprise Yusho winner like Tamawashi. They protected Kotozakura, but now he's on a losing streak. Haha. Yeah, whatever the reasons were, it backfired on Kotozakura. So maybe next time they should just make a different choice. I love Churanoumi. My little sister calls him Churro. That's so cute. Hold up. Let me pull some quotes from that awesome Churanoumi interview. No one here likes Kotozakura. He's the new villain. I don't know. I think John might like Kotozakura. He might have to admonish me for my biases. Hey, it's more fun when you have someone you love and someone you hate. Now, I don't like to actually say I hate Kotozakura or anybody, because hate is a strong word, but it's good when you have a guy where you're like, I don't know if I want him to win. As much as it's, I really want him to win. You see? It makes it more entertaining. There are endless challenges I still lack in many areas. One thing I'd like to improve is hitting more sharply and lower at the Tachiai. That Churanoumi never given up. Even at 30 years old, he is still trying to be the best. You gotta love that about him. Juryo and Makuuchi have been kind of meh. I got nothing to say about Juryo. Really. You're known for your skill in attacking after securing a left-hand front grip. When did you start developing this technique, and how did you refine it? It started around my first year of high school. It was just intense, Spartan training. Even if I broke my fingers or tore ligaments, I kept going. You can do that when you're in high school. Hoshoryu would whip Churanoumi's butt and put him in his place. Sorry, Churanoumi. Hey, but it'd be a great match. I have successfully converted 3 of my family members to watching NHK highlights every day. That is a true accomplishment. Someday, I will have to make sure that you get a trophy for that. I have not been able to successfully convert anyone in my family. It's like, come on, guys. Come on. This is great stuff. Nah. They won't commit. When I entered high school, everyone around me kept getting bigger, and I didn't. I realized I needed a weapon to compete, and that was when I first learned this technique from my coach. I like the sumo mind that Churanoumi is expressing in this interview. Lots of people hate Ryuden because of what he did in his personal life. Yeah, but he's not good enough for you to really hate on him. Like, he's not going to affect the Yusho in any way. So it's kind of like, yeah, he's not a fine gentleman, that's for sure, but I kind of forget about him sometimes. I love Hoshoryu and I'm mature, so I don't like Kotozakura sumo, period. There's a thing that happens, right? I can go back again to Takakeisho, my favorite, where when you have a favorite Ozeki, it's hard not to sort of root against the other Ozeki because you feel like they're competing with him for that top spot. So anytime they beat your guy, you know, they're ruining things for your guy. So I kind of had that feeling with Asanoyama. Like, I didn't want him to win. I had nothing against him, but I didn't want him to win because it's like he's interfering with Takakeisho's future advancement. And then all that terrible stuff happened to him, and I'm like, I feel so bad for him. He ended up with a way worse scenario than Takakeisho, and Takakeisho might have to retire at 28. As an amateur, I used to study my opponents. I would wrestle in a way that exploited their weaknesses. Goose, people hate Kotozakura because he's really good and wins a lot. One call by an authority beyond his control, and now they have an excuse. This is another true fact. People make their decisions, right or wrong. I'm not going to give an opinion on this. People make their decisions about who they like and who they don't like on all these different factors. Now, I've given you my factors, and once again, I don't hate him. I don't want to go that far. I don't like what feels like the lack of effort. And when I'm speaking about this particular thing that happened with the authority, I am not one of the people who are like, yeah, Kotozakura, he had cheating help. I think they hurt him by doing that. He had nothing to do with that. He didn't ask them to do that. Whatever their reasons were, that's not his fault. So I actually feel bad for him because Takakeisho's gotten all kinds of crap for things that were not his fault. With that said, the people who've already decided they don't like him, they're like, yes, now I have a thing I can say. And I've seen them do it with Takakeisho. So this is just people getting their biases confirmed. For example, I prefer the left-handed front grip, but if I saw that my opponent struggled with the right-hand front grip, I would target that. Yes, poop it in. He is ever just going to poop out and end up in Juryo, or he is going to yo-yo until the end of time. Your names are very interesting for people. After turning pro, that motivation disappeared, so I thought I'd study my own sumo style instead. Now I usually don't study my opponents anymore. I believe that wrestling in my own style makes me stronger. Koto was a good guy, but I love to go against him for Hoshoryu. Sounds like everyone else is about the same. See? This is the point I just made. I had no problems with Asanoyama, but I could not root for him because his success would hurt Takakeisho. So if you're a Hoshoryu fan, it's kind of hard to root for Kotozakura. It's just what it is. Just what it is. Mitch, Moich. It was Tobizaro that had diarrhea. Have you forgotten? Shame on you, Mitch. You're getting out of character. Oh, boy. It's descending into madness already. Is Goose based? I'm starting to like this guy. Yeah, you guys could get along, I think. Your uncle is the coach of Nihon University Sumo Club, and your brother, Kotozakura, is a former wrestler. You also started sumo alongside your older brother. How did you feel about it as a child? Honestly, I didn't want to do it and I just wanted to quit. I hated being called part of the family. I was weak and people had high expectations of me only to be disappointed. That made me want to quit. He's bringing up what we spoke about earlier about how being from a sumo family can actually make things harder. Now we have to get into these comments. I am enjoying this interview, by the way, Monster. Tobizaru pooped along with his brother. Ryuden's Mawashi just looks like poop. Oh, great. I just love it. All right, let's just face the facts. Kotozakura just doesn't try. Hoshoryu tries hard. Once again, there's the vibes part. There's the vibes. There are definitely vibes with Kotozakura and Hoshoryu, and they are the opposite of what their actual success rate is. Koto has scored 13 wins. Hosh has not. Hosh is a Yusho without facing Teru. Koto lost to Teru in a playoff and has beaten Teru potato tomato. Exactly what I'm saying. Hoshoryu seems like the more competent fighter, but the record would say otherwise. Kotozakura has him beat in a lot of categories. Ryuden as a person is a monster, but no one cares because he doesn't win. Onosato has one minor scandal and people hate him because he beats their favorite wrestler. Also very true. Goose dropping the knowledge tonight. Both true facts. Yeah, I agree. It makes everyone feel like Koto didn't earn it by giving him passes. I truly believe it was a pass. They wanted Koto versus Onosato at the end. Yes, whatever their reasons were, I think that's possible. But Kotozakura didn't ask for that. So it's kind of not fair to even put it on him. It's like, okay, if they decide to do something, like I said, in hockey when it happens, you don't know, but you feel like they're biased towards a certain team, and then that team scores a goal on a ridiculous power play. You know, it's the team didn't ask for it. It just happened. And sometimes these things that just happened, we take out on the wrong people. I heard Koto was heavily disciplined by his grandfather whenever he didn't win. He lost a tournament when he was a kid, and he told his grandfather he won because he was afraid of the repercussions. That does make me feel some sympathy for him. I will say I do feel sympathy for Kotozakura. I also feel like, ugh, because I think he should be better. But who am I, really? I'm not a sumo wrestler. He can do what he wants. I just give opinions. And sometimes my opinions might not be good. I'm not a fan of that kind of pressure on a kid, even if it pays off in the future. I agree, Mega. In high school, I had no interest in professional sumo. I only knew the names of the Yokozuna and Ozeki, and I didn't even know what the Juryo division was. Monster, we are about to engage in our Bashui poop-related conversation. He's too busy with the interview right now. Apparently, my love of Kotozakura over Hoshoryu is I can't say the word. I know the word. Heretical here. LOL, I like both. Both are good. Habob Gob wins the most reasonable person in the chat tonight. Unless he starts going on a hater spree, which is very possible. But right now, you win the most reasonable award in the comment section. Habob Gob, come watch my show tonight, Sunday morning sumo show. Yeah, you should pop up in the comments, Habob Gob. I think you'll enjoy it. But my older brother, who was working for a power company, became the guarantor for my student loans, allowing me to attend university. Kotozakura is not a Rikishi. He should be the guy behind the counter at a cupcake shop. All right, GR Sumo. You know that's not quite the case. To repay that money, I realized sumo was the only skill I had that could earn me money, so it wasn't out of admiration that I joined, but rather for practical reasons. Even now, I see sumo as a job. Kotozakura pulls too much. There's a lot of pulling fans in the 42 Opinions group. I don't know that I'm a pulling fan. You know, being the pusher fan makes it hard to like the pull, but if it's done classy. I was small, so I wasn't the kind of wrestler who would attract much attention. Since I had always said I wasn't going pro, I didn't get any offers. I think people are upset about the Onosato scandal because it dealt with a minor, and people are very sensitive when minors are harmed. There's that, and there's the fact that it happened around the time of the Hakuho thing. The truth is, there's so much... It seems like there's so much backstabbing in sumo. It's actually... Like, come on, guys. For a sport that's supposed to be so straight up, like we're just going to get in the ring, we're going to clash, we're going to see who comes out on top, and then we're going to shake hands later. The drama is just so cringe to me. all the revenge and the games and the interpersonal relationship stuff. It's like, I just want to see a fight. And if somebody's doing the wrong thing, take care of it. But I don't even need to hear about it if you took care of it the right way, which they don't. That's a whole other story. It'd become Hard Marie again, where I just yell about everything until my mic comes out. But somehow my current stable master reached out to me. I think he didn't hear about my decision to not go pro. Thanks to him, I was able to train in a relaxed environment. By the way, has anyone heard when the king gets his stable back? Yes, I heard it will be when Issei Gahama retires. So sometime in March. Sounds like it is going to happen, and we're going to... I think they got way too much backlash to go through with that the way they did. And they just want to forget the whole thing ever happened. Honestly, I never had a clear vision of what kind of wrestler I wanted to become, even from a young age. However, I've always admired Goeido's sumo style and tried to imitate it. That's interesting. I'm going to pay more attention to whether or not I think he has some homage to Goeido. Does Kotozakura lack of power, or does he just not use it? He's just defensive. I mean, just standing there, you could see his power, but the defensive style makes it so that he doesn't output the power in the same way that someone like him, if he was a pusher, would. The previous Sado Gatake, Kotozakura's grandpa, had to be one of the best Oyakata, raised the 3 Ozeki in a decade. Good point. Although my sumo is a bit different from his, that's what I aim for. After I suffered an injury at 27, I stopped looking ahead. I always approach my matches with the thought that I might die. Smart. What's funny is I actually approach just regular sparring matches the same way, even though we're really not hitting each other that hard. But it's the way I want to think, because I think of sparring very seriously, because if I was ever attacked in real life, I want to be able to do what I need to do. So I actually take it very seriously. I would buy cupcakes from Kotozakura because his uniform looks like cupcakes. Okay. I don't want to talk about that. I do believe that the award for Bob qualifies him for the role of official chaperone for the field trip whenever we get around to that. We need to get some money, which means we need to get some subscribers. Once again, this is your guys' job. You have to go out into the internet and find us some subscribers. You know all the sumo people. But of course, I might be the Kotozakura of sumo podcasting for all I know. John's cool. How can anybody dislike John? But me, I tend to get people upset. I think I would be lost if I forgot that I'm standing in a place where the likelihood of dying is 100 times higher than just walking down the street. Wow, he is a very thoughtful man. He is like really rising in my standing here. I am a lightweight sumo wrestler who is trying to turn pro, so I have respect for Hoshoryu, Hiraumi, Ura, Tobizaro, Midori Fuji, Enho, and others, and I fight heavyweights and I lose to them. Yeah, I lose a lot of sparring matches myself. I am very small. But you know what? I never stop trying. One of these days, I'm going to land the right hit. If that awesomeness fades, then it's time for me to retire. Or if that awareness fades, then it's time for me to retire. You don't look ahead, living in the moment and focusing on the present. You don't look ahead, living in the moment and focusing on the present. So I don't have respect for the big, strong guys who don't live to their potential. I prefer parry over pull. It sounds much more dignified and justifies Keisho's sidesteps. The sumo term is inashi, which encompasses parries and sidesteps that aren't at the tachi. So, yeah, Keisho has background in other martial arts, and I like the parry personally, because it's a move that's used all the time in martial arts, and it's a move that makes sense. And he doesn't do it on the tachi, he does it after the fact, so I do prefer the parry. M, are you good for day 13? Yes, I am, Goose. You can, we can message at some point and get that all straight, but yeah, as long as you're able to stream, I'll be there. At least we don't have the crazy sumo match fixing scandal from 2011. Yes, remember that. Looking back after it's over, I can appreciate a good match, but I'm not good at predicting the future. Of course, I want to have a winning record and compete in the final bout of the day, but if I think about tomorrow's opponent, I won't be able to beat today's opponent. Standing on the ring, thinking there's always a next time is too soft. To bring out my full concentration, I've naturally started thinking this way. That's a fascinating mindset. Yeah, Churanoumi is a very deep thinker, and I appreciate that he can actually speak so eloquently as well. Isn't it too negative? I'm not really the type to be admired. Jeez, we need to send Churanoumi some fan mail. Let's put that in our list of things to do as a sumo community. I said the cupcake thing not to disrespect, but to point out that he's very nice and polite. That's why he doesn't belong in the field. He does seem a little too nice for sumo. That is my appearance, like my vibes from him. No, not at all. It was a very interesting conversation. Thank you. Best interview ever. That was a great interview. That really was. I'm glad I read it all out loud so you guys can hear it forever through my narration. Be careful about cupcake salesmen. Not all of them are nice. Oh, jeez. I don't want to know. This sort of frankness is something you just don't see in sumo interviews, and is such a thoughtful and well-spoken guy, like you said. Yeah, you don't get that much detail from someone. I can really appreciate him a lot more. The award for Best Sumo Channel goes to you. Oh, thank you, Army. I try. Y'all are dumb. Kotozakura would beat his dad 100 times out of 100. He's just had a disappointing basho. Y'all must be doing a bit. You know, we're just having fun. Some people really, really don't like him. Some people mildly don't like him. Some people love him. At the end of the day, we're just chatting and being foolish. But, you know, some of it's serious, some of it's not. I don't know anything about Kotozakura's dad and what kind of shape he's in right now, and I will not even guess. But there is something about fighting your dad that, you know, maybe you won't win because you're intimidated. My high school baseball coach would like Churanoumi. Control the controllables, nothing more controllable than your attitude. Yeah. We should, like, put him up as, like, the pillar of how to approach sumo. Love the interaction with all the viewers and listening to all the different opinions and points of view. Great job. Thank you, Army. I loved Churanoumi before, but after that interview and another strong performance as Basho, easily one of my favorites right now. I'm looking forward to John hearing that interview because I think John would really be a huge fan as well. I sometimes train with Yamamoto Yama. He's one of my coaches. He's going to take me to the Onoebeya. That's cool. That's super cool. Sumo is something I could never attempt because of my own neck issues. I would never, ever try it. But I give props to those who actually do it. That's pretty cool. Kotozakura will be in the top 10 on both the most popular and unpopular lists this year. Same with Hoshoryu, Tobizaru, and Onosato. It'll be interesting to see where Takakeisho falls on the list this year. He's usually in the same camp. I guess I like all the people who are extremely polarizing. But maybe they'll feel some sadness for him this time. I doubt it, though. They'll be like, yeah, get out of here, Takakeisho. Churanoumi is the Ozeki of my heart. Takakeisho is the Yokozuna of my heart. Yes. Yes, Takakeisho is the Yokozuna of my heart. How can anyone hate Kotozakura? He's just so lovable and pretty good at sumo. This is a very good point. Kotozakura is very lovable. I think, like I said, Hoshoryu fans have a hard time rooting for him because it means if Kotozakura succeeds, then Hoshoryu has failed. That's one. Two, I guess everybody wants Kotozakura to be more aggressive, myself included. If Kotozakura finds a way to be consistent with the personality he has, I'm all for it because we need a new Yokozuna. And I think Kotozakura looks like a Yokozuna. I think Kotozakura should be a Yokozuna. But he's got to fix something. Oh, here we go. If Takakeisho retires, he won't be on that list. I'm getting sad again. I gotta get out of it. I gotta get out of it. Have we reached the point in the time where we begin going over promotion to motion pictures, or do we wish to save that for tomorrow? We will save that for tomorrow. I had no idea so many people hate Kotozakura. You know, Baby Boo, I had no idea how many people hated Onosato either. I love Onosato, and they're like, no, Onosato stinks. It's just preferences. I thought we'd save it for tomorrow since there's only 2 streams. Yes. And you can blame Goose for that. I can't handle a Thursday night stream and to get up in the middle of the night to do the live commentary. It's just too much. You guys keep me up all night and then I get no sleep. I'm pretty sure Takakeisho will be on the list no matter what. I thought the list was based on the Aki Banzuke. Oh, interesting. I just don't like him because of the quad boobs, honestly. See, everybody's got some reason. And some of the reasons are, you know. I cheer for both a double Yokozuna promotion like Taino and his childhood friend Kashiwado. I'm still cheering for Kotozakura. I'm just giving him tough love. I don't like that he's so big and he hasn't gotten there. But that's coming from a place of wanting him to succeed. Sadly, I have to run to a meeting. Looking forward to the rewatch tomorrow morning. Yep. Feel free. We're talking about a lot of stuff. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. Yamamoto Yama has definitely trained me never to fix matches by not getting free wins and never losing on purpose because of his own mistakes. It's so good to have a master, like someone who can train you the proper way. Fair enough. I need a little more time for my notes. I definitely need more time. My Filipino wife is cracking the whip. Bedtime. Everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you for the talk. Maria, my birthday's tomorrow. When is yours? Mine was September 9th. So mine was day 2 when Takakeisho decided to lose and then leave me. Happy birthday, GR Sumo. She's the boss. Good night. Good night, Army. Thank you for stopping by. Onosato pressuring minors to drink with him at that rank. Imagine how abusive he'd be as Ozeki and unmanageable Yokozuna. You know, I can't even comment on the scandals because I just don't know enough. I know what I've heard. I know what's been done and what hasn't been done. Like I said, there is so much drama behind the scenes. It's kind of embarrassing. Like, for a sport that's supposed to be so straight up and just honorable, everybody should be ashamed of themselves for this nonsense. Okay, then, I really thought that Yamamoto Yama would avoid that topic like the plague. Unfortunately, abuse is common in the sumo world. What Onosato did is pretty commonplace, and I'm sure many Yokozunas and Ozeki do it and even still do it. I wouldn't be surprised if Hakuho did it. Hakuho was a pretty abusive guy. Like, not officially, but unofficially. I mean, I've seen videos of what he does in training. And that wasn't abuse, but it's like, you're literally killing your training partners. So, if you're willing to do that in front of the camera, You know who deserves some props, and we haven't mentioned? Oho, very impressive. Oh, yes. We haven't spoken about Oho. Oho, I find it ironic Oho got an eye injury. When did he get the eye injury? Here, all support for Oho. I think we're all rooting for Oho to finally live up to his potential. It's been a long time coming. I really hope this is the start of something great for him. I really, really do. He's looked great. I think he fights better when he fights tougher opponents. I think that's just the truth. So maybe if he gets high enough, he'll be the wrestler he's supposed to be. He told me because we're close and he was explaining why he retired. Good thing Kisa Onosato nipped it in the bud. Onosato will mature. Don't forget he was a college kid a couple months ago. That's another thing too. Sometimes teenagers lack empathy and they're put in a situation where they think this is funny and everything else. He might learn. He might have learned a lot from that. So we'll have to see. I really don't like to comment on scandals because I don't know the full picture. I'm annoyed that they even exist. So I have to take the wrestlers for what they do in the ring for the most part, unless they get kicked out. Or unless they're Hokuseiho. Good riddance. Oho got the eye injury 2 days ago. Oh. You could see it swollen right after the match. I gotta go back and watch. I am just a mess this tournament. Ugh. My worst tournament ever. Surprised you guys are all sitting here listening to me. Abi headbutted Oho's right eye. Some swelling in a cut, but he seems okay. Ooh. Abi's having a rough tournament. And Koto Shoho too. I forgot him for a second. We kind of spoke about him. I think he could give Onosato a run for his money. We will see. Onosato isn't a teenager, though. He's 23, maybe 24 by now. Yeah, you should probably be a little bit more mature at that age. I will say that really you don't mature till 26, and then you're living in what's basically a frat house. And if you're being encouraged by the wrong people to do the wrong things, not that it's a good thing, because it's not. I don't know. Because I don't know the situation completely, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt unless it's something that's continuing. Remember, you were all probably partying in college. Don't hate Onosato because of that. I wouldn't be surprised if afterwards Onosato was like, oh shit, I forgot I'm not in college with my drinking buddy, Shirakuma. There are teenagers here. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. And I don't want to speculate because I wasn't there. And I'm not Japanese, so I don't even speak the language to read the proper translation. Kotoshoho got the Hoshoryu wrath. He sure did. I think Hoshoryu has been trying to get some tension out. And I think he kind of wanted that slap fest. I was like, look at him. He's like, yeah, let's do this. I never partied in college. I have to say I didn't really either. So, not everybody, but plenty of people have. Pop back in to say anyone who follows Sumo Jason, drop by his channel and wish him well. He's having health issues and going to the hospital. Oh no. Thank you for telling us that. I will send him a message. Oh, that's not good. I always went home right after classes. Didn't live on campus, I take it. It's a good thing I hate Onosato for all these reasons aside from his personality, so no one can accuse me of being rude. The truth is, we all like who we like, don't like who we don't like, and it's all for like some reasons that are good, some reasons that are bad. At least we all come together to agree that we enjoy sumo and we can have fun with each other, even if somebody doesn't like our favorite Rikishi. We can all respect each other and respect each other's Rikishi, unless you're Hokuseiho, and just have a blast together. No, Jason. Yeah, that's really scary. I'm going to have to check that out. I hope he'll be okay. He is Mr. Sumo YouTube. I think the vast majority of us found Jason before almost anything else. Yeah, I commuted. Yeah, if you commute, you're definitely not going to be as much. I built forts out of blankets in college because I was still a big kid. It's on his video he just dropped. He said he's in a lot of pain and doesn't understand why. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Hoshoryu even paused for a second and let Kotoshoho smack him to make him more fired up. That is funny. Did you see Hokuseiho with a goatee? He was at Araisho Bayo. No, I heard he was out there, but I missed it. Is there a Chris Sumo video or anything like that? Where can I find this picture? I heard he showed his face, and I'm like, what? You would dare come back around after everything that happened? Jeez. Okay, guys. I know you're going to try to derail me and keep me here, but it has been 1 hour and 47 minutes, soon to be 1 hour and 48 minutes. We're going to do this again tomorrow. So I have to say goodnight. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for your support. We may only be 500 subscribers, but we definitely are a team. We work well together. Nope, it's not going to work this time. No. Thank you for reading my very enthusiastic comments. I know I get carried away sometimes. It's all good, GR Sumo. We're all hanging out. We're all going to be civil and enjoy each other and all our various opinions. This is, in fact, a opinion channel. So we're all good. Hokuseiho did not talk to the paparazzi, but they said he was joking around with the Araiso Bayo guys and was in good spirits. I did see the goatee. Hard to use a disguise when you're 6'7". Thank you, best podcast. Thank you all, best subscribers. Thank you for saying Habab Gab as well. No, I have to annoy you by telling you how happy the reporters thought Hokuseiho was. No, I'm not giving into it tonight, guys. I'm tired. I can't even read the chat anymore because you chatted so much, which was great. But now the words are swirling around because I don't have good night vision. So, good night, Elise. Thank you all. I am going to see you tomorrow night. Oh, bob gob. I'm going to save this for tomorrow. I have lots to say about that. I will save your question for tomorrow. Just bring it up again. Good night. Good night, everybody. And thank you, GR Sumo.